you know how producers be like, oh, when you did that, I like that. You know what I'm saying? They hearing real nuanced, layered sounds in the beat, right? And it's like, okay.
They'll miss the overall picture.
Yeah, like, I appreciate that. Then you got people that just common listeners.
Went from Beamer Coops to Pizza. Someone distant is so part that one more time. Part that one more time. Part that shit like one more time. They part that one more time.
Here we are, episode number 2 of the One More Time Music Podcast. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am your host, Playback Ben, here with my co-host,
Henry with a 3, because Henry with an E was already taken.
And Henry, who do we have on the podcast today?
This guy, wait, I thought he was your friend. I don't know.
Oh, I have absolutely. Yeah. No, today we have Mr. Keenon Rush.
What's good, people?
Keenan, appreciate you coming on the podcast today. Collaborator of Henry's, friend of mine, fan of his. I am, so appreciate you coming out today.
All the pronouns.
For the people that don't know who you are, tell them who you are and where you're from.
Yeah, so like they said, my name's Keenon Rush. Just from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been a few places, as I guess you could say, I would call home, but Atlanta is definitely the home base for me.
What part of the city are you from?
I'm from Decatur, Georgia.
Where it's greater.
You know what I'm talking about? And
You mean the deck?
The deck, like for real. Like DeKalb County School Systems, Decatur, Candler Road.
Shout out to DeKalb County School Systems.
Yeah, shout out all the DeKalb County teachers who, held it down in that little test scoring operation back in 1999 or something like that.
Yeah.
They was in there filling in test scores for the youth, man. No child left behind.
That's right. Shout out Bush.
Little known fact.
So my mom's a DeKalb County school teacher, so she appreciates the support.
She's like, hey, at least they know what we went through.
She started in 2000, I think, so it was right after that. So I'm a product of DeKalb County schools myself, so for better or for worse.
All three of us.
But yeah, so I always like to ask the question, when did you first start doing music in any capacity, right? So we've had people say, when I was 4, I had a toy drum set, right? Like when did you actually at all start doing music or performing or any sort of, dabbling in music?
Yeah, so for me, man, I grew up in church. It was a very integral part of my upbringing. And so, like, I guess my grandma would tell the story that, like, and I say that, like, me, my younger brother, and my older cousin, who's kind of like a sister to me. So it was like we're all close-knit in age. And she said that we wanted to get up and sing in church. Like, that was something that we were asking her to do, which, the jury's still out on that one. But whether it is true or not, we ended up like performing, because I'm talking about we were just as young as 4, 5, and 6. And so you tell me some memories of your like biggest decisions at age 4, and I'd be like, wow,
you're right.
I need some of that. I need some of that stuff because it's a little blurry. But I do remember definitely like rehearsing, being at church. We not only performed at my church, we went to different churches in the greater Atlanta area. So if it was like a like a pastor's anniversary.
I was like, whoa.
Right.
You were chosen to perform for the president at age 4.
Yeah.
Clinton specifically requested.
At your church.
Real Michael Jackson
incredible.
trajectory.
Yeah. This kid was born to be a star.
Going places.
Right.
But no, like, pastors' anniversaries, Women in White Day or Easter Sunday or like different revivals. We was out there like touring the Chitlin circuit of sorts.
So were you in like a youth choir or like what? Were you in like a band? Because we've had another guest who was in a church band. So it's funny that you said that your first exposure to music was being in the church too. So were you in the choir or the band or what?
The church was small, and so we didn't like the congregation was the choir, but we were I think a separate entity. Like we went by the name the Babes in Christ. Yeah,
wow,
rolls off the tongue, right?
Not bad.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like a charting artist.
Yeah, I feel like I need to make some merch just for like to honor that. I actually had a rap name too.
Okay,
I'm capping on that one. I was gonna make up something. I'm like, let me not even do that. But the Babes in Christ, so just imagine, you go to this big Baptist church. It's like everybody in there from seat to seat. Like I don't know what people still going to church in high numbers, but I just have this fond memory of Atlanta churches back then. Like, definitely going to get some chicken in the church kitchen after service type energy. And, you know, I'm sitting there like, I'm paying attention, but I'm like, I don't know, something about pastors' voices when I was young, like they're so charismatic that it wasn't making me focus. It was lulling me to sleep. I'm like, yo, this dude, like, he's saying something, but I'm just fighting sleep with all of my might. But then, you know, we would come up, we would perform our songs. And like I say then, I not only, because I was listening to music around my house and with the fam, but like I was out here, a young kid. I say something, I ain't even saying it on key. I'm just saying something. And the whole like, yeah. Like, wow, this is powerful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so from there, yeah, I just started tapping in really like intentionally at an early age, trying to make stuff, trying to play instruments and all of that. Yeah.
And you mentioned performing. You also had a performing career in middle school, correct?
Yeah, I think, what you mean, like just music wise or?
Yeah, I just heard through the grapevine that you were a big performer at your school in middle school.
No, yeah, like anytime, I would say middle school, elementary school, anytime there was a Christmas play or Thanksgiving, like I know he's not the greatest character to mention, you know, in your speech about your youth, but like R. Kelly made all the graduation songs growing up. You know what I'm saying? I Believe I Could Fly. Yep. I Am a Mountain. I Am a Small Tree.
Yep.
I was performing those songs at graduation, like 5th grade. I guess they called it commencement or something. Perform something there. And then,
is that just a fancy word for graduation?
Right, I'm like, yeah, we're graduating.
Can you just call it graduation? Stop confusing us with, is this a different event?
Bro,
are we supposed to wear something different? What?
People were definitely shaming us. I was like, yeah, I'm graduating. You know, nobody go to
No, you're
school.
commencing.
You're commencing, son. Please.
I think graduating is more like, it's kind of like has a finality to it. Like you're done. When you graduate, you might be done. Commencement's like, well, there's something else going on.
Right.
Next. Yeah, you got another step.
That's funny. So outside of, music and performing and being involved in church, what else were you, into growing up?
Growing up, like I was really, I felt like I had this chip on my shoulder where I just wanted to do everything that I enjoyed, like now that I think about it, when you were talking about performing in middle school, like I know we had some like programs where I would, rap. I was making Christian raps then because it was a Christian private school. And I ain't gonna lie, that song was hard. Like, I probably
can we find it anywhere on streaming?
It's probably on my MySpace. No, I don't know where we would even find that. You'd probably have to like blow the dust off of a desktop from 2002
have to
find that
hack
joint.
into an old MySpace account.
Yeah, it's on a local church server somewhere, sitting as a.
I do remember the lyrics said, "Ducking and dodging these spiritual bullets, busting them back, trying to get where I'm looking."
Damn. It's a bar.
It's
a bar.
But yeah, bro, it was like I just wanted to do everything, man. And I enjoyed playing sports. So baseball was the first sport I really started playing, and then I just got the bug: football, basketball. I was really into drawing, like cartoons and making comics. Me and my brother would do that often. And like Dragon Ball Z, I didn't graduate into anime full-fledged, but like Digimon and Dragon Ball Z, that's where I really got my ability to draw, just trying to draw what I saw. And that was a cool thing that I really tapped into growing up. But besides that, it was just like I don't know, normal kid, man, just outside trying to get permission to walk to the gas station or leave my block.
That was normal back in the day.
Yeah.
These days, being outside is not that normal anymore.
Exactly. And I remember being young, like, and my folks being like, y'all just in and out the door. I remember when we was young, we was always outdoors. And now I'm thinking about it like, I was always outside, know? But we had video games, so I guess that was different from their generations,
Yeah, so this guy's super humble, right? He was super good at sports. He's like completely skirting the question
dabbled.
of like, I'm like, what were you into? He's like, I really was into everything. Like sports was like third on his list. Like drawing came up. Did you go to drawing school for high school and college? No, I don't think. Yeah, so let's get to the sports part of your life, right? Because it was a huge part of your life from what I know.
Yeah, for sure.
So going into high school, you went to high school for sports, right? that was...
Well, it's interesting because, like, growing up, like, when I was actually at that school, the college school, that was, I guess, a common misunderstanding. And it gets deep, not like crazy deep, but these schools, so Macaulay's a great institution for higher learning, and they have resources, right? And they're playing in a certain district of sports. So I didn't, like when I got there, just like every other kid, I was trying out for stuff. And I just happened to be well-rounded, and I think that's what they were looking for ideally, but they have this rule within the TIAA or whatever the Tennessee High School Association of Sports is. And it was like, all right, if you get a full scholarship to a school, you can't play varsity sports. So it's like, that negates a full scholarship for an athlete at that point. It's like, you have to have earned something. So I was actually there for a presidential, like academic scholarship.
See, I literally thought everyone that went to this school, because it's not here in Atlanta.
Right, it's a fire school.
It's in Tennessee, Chattanooga. For those that don't know, it's a boarding school.
Right.
And I literally have played them in sports, right, growing up. And I thought everyone went there because of sports.
Because they're so good, right?
Yeah, well, I thought it was a sports school, like quite literally. That's why I didn't even know people went there for other reasons. I didn't even know that it was a...
Yo, that school's got an interesting history. So it's a private, like you might have played Baylor too, right?
I just remember Macaulay.
Well, yes.
Always playing Macaulay. Coming down from Chattanooga.
Those two schools started back in like 1905. I think Baylor started in 1897, and so... if you think about it, they started in 1905. The next biggest thing coming up is World War I, and then it's just wars like a motherfucker. So I don't know if I could be cussing like this, but like it's just like
we do not allow any fucking cussing on this fucking podcast.
If you fucking cuss one more time, we're gonna not air this episode.
We're gonna have to redo this shit. Yeah, I can't open up these wounds too many times on camera now.
Yeah. So what was that like being from Decatur? East Atlanta. I mean. Was that a culture shock for you? Did you fit right in?
Well, yeah, I think it was like it's always going to be culture shocks just living in these different communities. But I don't know. The school I went to before that, I think, and then just my parents in general, they were always trying to like keep us as these savvy kids. Like I didn't grow up where it's like, well, I don't know. I guess when it really got X-rated, I had to go. Like, my pops said something like, "Hey, catch out." And it would just be like, all right, cool. Like, I know at this point, I probably shouldn't see this. But like, but anything.
Catch out was like his.
It was like, get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but politely, I don't want to blow your spot up, son, little man, but it's really time for you to go now. But like, we was watching, stand-up comedy. We was watching Dave Chappelle.
Shout out Dave Chappelle.
You know what I'm talking about? Sandwiches, man. I need some sandwiches. People are going to think that was an ad lib.
It could be.
It should be an ad lib.
We can make it an ad lib.
Let's get a clean one. Don't nobody say anything. Sandwiches, man. I need some sandwiches.
Perfect. I'll cut that up.
Yeah, we're gonna use that. But yeah, I was watching that stuff. Austin Powers, all that. Like, and I mean, just from the music to film to conversations, like I know people who are parents, and I've just grew up around people who are very like, I'm not gonna curse in front of you guys. Type energy. That wasn't me, but I think that it made me comfortable talking to adults, one, and then it made me comfortable just talking to people that I didn't know like that. You know what I'm saying? And so that mixed in with my school. It was a private school, but it was very much in the early stages. So it was still a lot of donor like accumulation and trying to really get people to be on the board. So me being one of the kids that go to school, they're like, "Yo, Keenon, tell us what you got going on." It's like, so we get a little coached up, to be able to communicate certain things. But after a while, it's like, yeah, like I do this, but same time, you can know how to talk to people every day of the week. But when like your friends are getting G-Wagon Benz as their first car, it's like, oh, so it's different. Like you didn't get any presidential scholarship money. You paying all $34,000.
Right.
Sheesh.
And you have that Benz.
Out of pocket.
Right. And it's like, oh, okay, it's different. Things are a little different. But then same time, just to show some duality, it's like all pros versus my cons, I had people who had resources out the ass, but like at any given moment was ready to just, my dad, fucker, I'm just like, I'm like, okay, bro. Shit, like,
chill.
He's a heart surgeon. Like,
And so you played sports at Macaulay.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say sports are similar to music? And I guess what would you say the biggest differences are?
Did you take anything away from sports that helps you with music today?
True. I mean, I think the biggest thing that draws them, I don't know if there's similarities, but you listen to music before playing a sport, like in most cases. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And it's like,
that's not where I was going with that question, but that's a great observation.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
that's more how they're related, right? Which is a huge, like,
yeah, that's definitely a good way to think about it, because I think around the time where I started to just really hone in on football or hone in on just being a superior athlete in high school, I started moving away from, like, you know, like I said, in middle school, I'm being in the Christmas play, or I'm being in a musical, or I'm just being a part of, I'm in band. And I don't want to blame one person, but I do remember a point in like 7th grade where, like, I was playing baritone and trombone, and I'll get back to the actual question. I was playing baritone and trombone, and I was really enjoying it. I had already been playing trumpet from like 5th grade to 6th grade, so I was just trying.
I'm an alto sax guy myself.
You know what I'm saying? You should have hopped in. So y'all don't even know we got the neighborhood black band coming, and you're gonna be in it now.
Well, I just signed myself up.
You know what I'm saying? And when we play music, people, like, bullets get shot. You know?
Are you just trying to tee him up for every sound effect that he has on the board?
I'm loving the alley-oops.
That's what I'm saying. We got chemistry right here. You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
But yeah, I had a teacher, like, I was trying out for football, and I had a teacher who she was holding like these exams of some sorts after school, because I guess, you know, she was listening to one person at a time playing these different things. She might have needed more time. Who knows? But I had practice. I was trying out for the football team. And she gave me this whole, like, you know, you can be anything. Da, da, da. I'm like, I already know. I'm trying to be everything. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, you're either going to go to try out for football, or you're going to come to do this. I was like, all right, well, I'll see you when I see you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just started, like, I think, trying to just focus my energy on certain things. I was always making beats in high school, but I wasn't as focused on that being something that, like, I needed people to know me by, or, you know, just to give me merit for. And I don't regret it, but it was just part of that story. But, like, my experiences with music, you know, it's like, if I'm warming up for a basketball game and I got the headphones, everybody, you hooped, everybody wanted to have, like, some dope warm-up music, or be in the locker room listening to We Be Steady Mobbing. You know, everybody was listening to that song. You know what I'm saying?
That song was on repeat.
No, like, I mean, you almost judged a team by their warm-up tape.
Right.
Like, straight up, when you would go to an away game and you were, you know, traveling to the other school, it was like, please, God, like, give me some good warm-up music, right? Mm-hmm. Because, that can, like, totally kill your vibe warming up. That can get you in the right mindset. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I never thought about how interconnected music and sports are from, like, a preparation and getting in the zone perspective, right? Because, like, I'm sure golfers and tennis players don't vibe out to the same types of music necessarily. Sure. And I'm completely generalizing right now, but I just think that there's a certain mindset you want to get in, right? When you're going to play, like, maybe those types of sports, you want to be in the calm, kind of zen-like state versus, you know, football. You're probably not going to be listening to, you know, smooth jazz before you go, you know, start as a linebacker for the, you know,
I went to Tucker.
Macaulay.
I went to Tucker High, and for us, it was Nuck If You Buck.
Oh, of course.
Every time.
That was a classic warm-up tape record.
Boom.
I was in a lounge last night, and I feel like Nuck If You Buck was playing, and then a fight broke out. It probably wasn't Nuck If You Buck.
It sounds like some Atlanta shit.
There it is.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't Nuck If You Buck, but I will say nothing close or even remotely to Nuck If You Buck came on after the fight broke out.
Yeah, they switched it up after that.
It was like, Maria.
They calmed it down.
So after Macaulay, you head to Wake Forest University, yes, Winston-Salem.
Shout out Wake Forest.
Where you meet your now manager, Dev.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Dev.
Dev told me a couple stories. So you mentioned that you produced a little bit in high school, right?
Yeah.
What does the strain Blue Dream mean to you?
Blue Dream was it was definitely a popularized strain. You know, I went through a time period in college where Wiz Khalifa and Juicy J could do no wrong. And they probably still couldn't.
I still am in that phase.
You know what I'm saying? They probably still couldn't.
2021.
At least musically, you know, we got to have some accountability. But at least musically, I'm like, oh, yeah, I rock with it. You know, okay, we rapping over the classical, you know, no bass, no drums, no nothing. But nah, so like we was listening to that, and that's when I was like also just getting back into. I just made a decision to say, okay, look, I'm making beats, or I'm just I'm going to make music. I'm still playing football. I'm still pursuing certain things within this university, but this is important. And I came across this one sample from some like old time song. Like I think I found it, but it just that in that moment in time, and it was like me and all my closest friends had a house on campus. And I was like slick. I mean, I shout out my homies because it might be obnoxious, but I was playing my beats at all times. Just like, yo,
this right here.
Right? It's like I'm going to bed, bro.
Right.
But I know, but this one though, right? And so this beat, I played that, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, bro, you getting signed tomorrow? Like this is the one.
This is it.
No vocals put down yet. I don't even think I sequenced the beat out yet. It was just a fire ass loop. Blue dream. Bro, that was one of the happiest times of my life, bro. I was like, yeah, this music shit's for me.
You said you guys probably streamed that beat, or I guess it wouldn't even be called streaming, sorry, but you listened to that beat probably what? Hundreds, thousands.
Bro, it would be like we would throw house parties, and everybody loves a
just
little
Blue
level
Dream
of,
on repeat.
Not even. It was like this level of exclusivity, in not being in the living room of the house party. It's like, we going to my room, or we going upstairs and shit. Mm-hmm. So we in my room.
I always found myself in the kitchen.
Right. People definitely congregate in there.
Was the spot.
I had a roommate who would always like cook burgers or something before a party too. So, somebody in there just vibing. It was just like little sects of the house.
Yeah.
Man, I don't care what was going on out there. At some point in the night, it's probably going to be 10 people in my room in this house. I'm like, yeah, so what y'all think about that one? And I probably cue up Blue Dream toward the end just to like.
So what kind of feedback were you getting at the time?
Oh, I mean.
Or was everyone just partying so they pretended like they liked it if they did?
Like common music listeners, as we all probably know at this point, are either going to say like two things. They either gonna say, "Oh, I fuck with this. Like it's hard," which means they like it, or they're gonna be like, "Who made the beat?" Mm-hmm. And that means they don't like it at all. You know what I'm saying? They just like, oh, "Okay, who made the beat, bro?" And this, if someone says that to you, just know they like, I don't have the facilities to explain what needs to happen, but I'm not rocking with this.
Yeah.
So did you answer honestly when they asked who made the beat?
Well,
or did you tell them it was someone else?
I mean,
in the YouTube beat,
right? at certain times in my life, I think I was making all my beats, so it was a win-win if someone ever said that. But this is just I'm not even trying to like toot my own horn, but this is just what I've seen in the music space. You know what I'm saying? And every song I made is not the dopest, so you might play 2 or 3 songs with somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm rocking that. Keep going." Play the next one. And now they talking about the beat all of a sudden. Who made the beat? It's like, oh, okay. So the first 2 you was fucking with, but you want to know who made the beat on this one. Mm-hmm. You don't want to know who made the beat on the first 2, but you like those songs.
How much importance would you say you put on like feedback from people that you're close to? Is that something that carries a lot of weight, a little weight, no weight?
I think I like all of it is important, but they are measured differently. I think some people, that's all you like an A&R or your manager or someone who produces, they might tell you they like something and then start talking about like, how producers be like, oh, when you did that, I like that. You know what I'm saying? They're hearing real nuanced, layered sounds in the beat, right? And it's like, okay,
they'll miss the overall picture.
Yeah, like I appreciate that. Then you got people that just common listeners, and the fact that they like start maybe doing a TikTok dance to it, or they might do like a hand gesture that you've seen them do when they rocking with something. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to curate a team of people to really A&R a record. That's like terminology that I've been using a lot lately. It's like, we're going to make sure this record is dope. I'm not asking you for feedback. You're invested in it. Like, we heard the beat, or we heard the first 4 bars of this freestyle, and we like, I see the trajectory of it. Like, and I'm gonna see it to finish. You know what I'm saying?
One more time.
I think
one more time.
You have activated
one more time.
The one more time.
One more time.
So on this podcast, whenever we feel like a guest has dropped a gem, we drop the one more time. And we just need you to summarize that up one more time for the people in the back that didn't get it the first time. Let them know.
That's real, though, because you should definitely highlight the one more time, because I feel like a lot of times people hit the whoop-de-whoop. I could get in here like, yo, I just got in there, like I really just started rapping, like now. Right. I ain't even made that beat then. I made it in the future metaphysically type whoop-de-whoop ass stuff, bro. I'm like, bro, just tell people you worked at this, give somebody something.
Right.
It's like, damn. But yeah, so like what I was saying was, like, I curate the people around me, or just like be very receptive to people who you can tell really like want to develop records. Mm-hmm. And like for me personally as an artist, I want to do that, but it doesn't always mean I need to be the one who's rapping every lyric, who's even on the song, who did any credit on it. Like Henry was saying, I thought a lob, for the ad libs on the actual sound machine, but you gotta have people in the room that's ready to do that. Throw a lob, like, yo, I feel like that's when you say you see the whole picture. When someone's saying like, I like that one sound, and then they say, ooh, what would be dope, or it's like after we bounce that one time, like, yeah, send me that now, because I'm finna ride around listening to it, and I'm gonna come back like, yeah, it's dope, but like that second verse really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And so really invest in people who want to invest in the trajectory of a record, who can see the potential, who want to A&R a record,
and who will hear it in different ways.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's the craziest part of what you said, I think, is as far as like not undermining, or I guess underappreciating the very technical feedback that an engineer might give you, a producer might give you, A&R by trade might give you, right? But like at the end of the day, the common listener is who's going to make or break your career. I mean, you can have a bunch of A&Rs and mix engineers hate your shit, but if the common listener, fucks with it, then
you're good.
That's probably a better story to tell than the opposite, right? But I think that inevitably they do music for their profession for a reason, so their feedback is valuable, but to not just put all the weight in one category, I think that's like, I think people probably do that in some way, but actually being like intentional about it and like curating a group of people that can help you weigh in on every record, I think that's a really good strategy.
Underrated for sure. Worthy of the first one more time activation.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure, man.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say people, man.
Yeah. So at that time you were primarily making beats. Obviously, fast forward, you're now, I would say, primarily an artist. I'm not saying that you don't like to be involved in the production side of things, but at that time, did you want to be a superstar producer?
I think,
was that your goal?
I think I was just starting at square one. Like, I'm very, you don't want to do this with me or for me, or I don't have enough money for this. All right, cool. I'm gonna just learn how to do it.
It's just wild because most people start out as artists, realize they can't do it. I would say the opposite is usually truer.
Right.
From my experience, it's like someone's an artist, they want to be a rapper, and they're like, well, shit,
I can't do
I
this.
can't rap.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like try and be behind the scenes and still be. And I'm not saying that like producing's easier than artistry or either or, right? It's just more they typically want to be the front and center, right? There's not as many people, I would say, that started off more so making beats that then wanted to step out into the limelight, if you will, right?
Yeah, he was trying to solve a problem. He needed beats, so he said, I'm gonna learn how to make beats. He's a problem solver.
And it was just like, I need to feel something when I'm making this before I can really start right into it. And then I was very like, I'm a writer, like I'm going to listen to this beat today and start writing and then listen to it again, which is very romantic and everything. I'm not like that now, and I guess we could talk about that at some point. But yeah, so when I was making beats, it was slick like that now too. I think the more you do stuff, and I was talking with a colleague of mine about this, the more you do stuff, the more you're afraid to fail. Like, in very clear terms, if you had $10,000 to spend on a project and you did it 5 times, that 6th or that 10th time, you wouldn't be as nervous to be like, yeah, I'm gonna spend $250 on this. Cause you're just like, I've done it enough. Or, like when you're making a beat, as soon as you hear that I don't like that part of it, you're just like, okay, keep going. What do I need to do? Cause I think early on in the beat making process, you just listening. damn near trying to make the shit sound good with just how you listening to it. It's like, no, that's trash. You just start doing something else like immediately. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you just get that, you get those chops. And I think once I started getting to a point where I was making beats I wanted to rap on, I started to grow through that with writing as well. But yeah, for the most part, I enjoyed and very much appreciated and was inspired by artists who produced. So by the time I first started making beats, Cole wasn't in the picture, but Kanye for sure.
Kanye.
And I think like he was really the only one at that time that I knew that was doing it to that level. I want to say Jermaine Dupri, but like everyone who was producing weren't artists.
Yeah.
Like Jermaine
like
Dupri.
Puff.
Yeah, like Lil Jon, Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
At
Juicy
the time. Yeah, at the time they were just like, I made this beat and I'm on it with my dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Kanye came in like, no, this is my song and I produced it.
Yeah.
And I engineered
He definitely
it,
took it to another level.
you know? And so I was like, yeah, I like that. You know, I'm going to do it that way.
And so at that point, are you Keenon Rush?
Nah, I'm some corny ass shit, I think.
We have to talk about that.
Right.
Yeah.
what, I guess...
Because I know what your first rap name was, but I'm just curious as to if you're going to be the one to divulge it.
So like when it goes back to middle school, my first, like I think some of them young ones, I was like King Trill. And
King Trill.
Right. And so you think about the term trill.
Yeah.
Trill. That's how you dating yourself by using that word. That's some
God,
crime.
Trill
right.
was such a wave.
It was a moment. It came and it went.
Yeah, like you getting that's before crunk, damn near. You know, what I'm saying? It's like
that was like 3-6 Mafia,
all my Trill
some,
lads,
like some
baby.
cut,
yeah,
Trillville.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's Trillville, little Scrappy,
That was incredible.
and I'm King Trill.
Yeah, you're claiming to be the top of that movement.
As you see, the King phrase was just
I think
always
he just
in there.
one upped the first rap name that I knew. I don't think anyone knew that one.
Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about Killverse.
See, exactly, and it's just like
I'm not sure which one's cornier though, King Trill or Killverse.
Killverse.
Is Killverse because you kill verses?
Yeah, and I'm like, why did I feel the need to communicate that? Like, oh, okay. This
Someone's gonna believe you that
Right.
you're good at
Killverse? Okay.
rapping because you kill verses and your name's
I do like
Killverse.
it better than King Trill though. It's not bad.
King Trill, Killverse. And at some point I was going by KT. And so the King Trill, like,
KT.
my middle name starts with a T.
Okay,
and
that gives a little more context
double
than King Trill.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to like make something cool out of that. But then I just started going by KT because like I was in a rap group of sorts. My homie was Jump Fresh J.
Shout out Jump Fresh Day. Jay.
Man, I'm trying to remember everybody else, but I feel like I don't know. Back then, people's rap names was like Psycho Montana.
Yeah, but Jump Fresh J is like a '90s rap name.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
That's like, you know, he's always a fresh ass nigga too, man. Like he's still getting to it. I just saw
Shout
him
out JFJ.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do a record, bro. Let's do one.
If you're out there, right, JFJ, if you ever listen to this,
we'd love to have you on the podcast.
Yeah. I know you're gonna see this on YouTube, bro. Let's make a record for the one time.
So you become Keenon Rush. You move back to Atlanta after school. At some point, I know you did a little pit stop in Charlotte, right? And then you made your way back to Atlanta.
Yeah. Charlotte was a cool vibe. I was really
how long were you there?
Probably like 2 years.
Okay, so longer than a pit stop, but
I mean, in the grand scheme, yeah, I guess it was really a year and a half, I would say.
yeah. And so you make your way back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
You doing music, you know, intentionally at this point, like working on your artistry, coming out with projects. Like, are you Keenon Rush at that point when you move back to Atlanta, or?
Yeah, definitely just started to say, you know, there is no character being made here. Like I'm communicating everything through the music, and this is my name. And I mean, moving back to Atlanta was symbolic because it was like, I'm from here. Like, why? You know, moment of transparency. I was like, yo, I could be in Charlotte and just help pioneer this Charlotte scene. As we see now, they need no help with that.
I was like, Charlotte has got a bubbling scene now.
They need no help with it at all. But, you know, shout out to that. I was definitely around for some of those guys' early stages and like not a part of their teams, but I was seeing what they were doing. So, but I was just like, yeah, I'm from Atlanta. Let me get back to where I'm from. it's cool to be from there, and people are going there for music. And
where does the Rush come from?
The Rush, that's my last name.
Oh yeah, so that is your name.
Yeah.
See, I love that.
Yeah,
that's dope.
You know,
especially for an artist like you that is so true to themselves as far as like what their artist brand is and what their actual personal brand is. I mean, I think that's perfect, right? I mean, some people do want to communicate something that I'm not saying is at all not who they are, right? But it's not rooted so deeply in the actual person that they are. So that's beautiful for sure.
And I've been thinking about that, you know, just because I mean, in this world, in this business, like a persona is advantageous to have. Like it's something that you can slick detach from and say, like, this is what I have to make for this like client or consumer base.
Give them that one.
One more time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said again, you know, in the music business, it is a little advantageous to have like a persona that you can like really detach your personal self from.
Kind of turn it on, turn it off.
Yeah, you know, it's just like for instance, Puff Daddy, you know what I'm saying? P. Diddy, like those name changes were symbolic to something in his brand, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Jay-Z, Hove, Jigga, you know, is something there. But with that being said, me going by my name, I think naturally certain things started to manifest, and I appreciate it because I think it's cool. Like that's a very cool thing about hip hop that I'm like not too proud to be like, yo, I like this growing up, and I want to embody a part of it.
You also got lucky that you had a cool name,
bro.
If I was Henry Schultz or Ben McTeer, not as cool as Keenon Rush.
Yo, was good. Orlando, I thank y'all for coming out. I go by the name of Ben McTeer. Follow me on Instagram.
You're making it sound so cringy at this point.
Nah, I'm putting a little sauce on it.
Nah,
you did
for sure.
make it sound as good as
Follow
possible.
me on Instagram
at Ben McTeer.
So, how many projects do you have out now? I guess, you know, EPs and albums.
There's 3 out that I know are for sure, you know,
mixtapes,
paperwork. Yeah, 3 EPs. I wanted to create a story. I wanted to create something that I fell into. And I think one of the key examples would be like Wale, you know, where there's like the album About Nothing, but things that came before that were like More About Nothing, or the mixtape About Nothing, or something like that. It was because he's from DC, and so, you know, DC people that I knew from college, and Dat Piff and 2 Dope Boys. You know, that's where I was getting my recommendation.
God, shout out Dat Piff and 2 Dope Boys.
That was 2012.
Live mixtapes.
2 of the pioneers in.
I felt like live mixtapes
breaking
was like
artists.
The young kids were really, and I say the young kids, like people that were 2 years younger than us.
Right.
Like, oh no, I gotta get my shit off live mixtapes. I'm like, boy, grow up. Get on Dat Piff.
Be a man.
Be a man about it.
He was sticking his nose up at the live mixtapes users.
At that age, 2 years is like a big difference.
Exactly.
To be fair.
And
but
now,
yeah, so your first project, or at least I guess one of your first official EPs, Spare Time, is still up on SoundCloud today.
Yeah, I feel like I need to remix and master that joint.
Well, you might need to, and I think Henry might be able to help you with that. But
something that I do.
Check that joint out.
But
for real, bro.
but no, what I thought was cool is that a lot of artists, you know, you seemed almost shocked that it was still up, like you forgot that it was up, right? And so a lot of artists wipe their old stuff, right? Especially if it's not something that they're like, you know, insanely proud of, or that just is older or whatever, right? What made the decision, or like, you know, what made you make the decision to leave it up? I guess, like, how do you feel about artists that do wipe their old material and kind of start from scratch, you know, according to their perception, right? In the world, you know, do you think that's a good strategy? Indifferent? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, strategy wise, people got to do. I've been talking with a few different people, artists, friends, between like, you know, comparing and contrasting strategies, trajectories, life paths, all that. People got to do what they feel like is gonna work until it works for them. You know, somebody tried to tell you something that works for you, and you got it together like internally. And you're just like, bro, I don't need that. I don't need you to tell me so. But at the same time, it's like, for me, I would say, as a fan, I always try to like hold on tight to my fanhood, because as an artist, as a person in the industry, you start to lose like the stage is removed. You know, you see a release and you're like, oh, okay, I see what they did there. That was cool. You know, you're not just like, yo, you see how he dropped that? Nowhere do he drop that? And did he drop? It was like, people knew he was gonna drop that.
Yeah.
You know, when at this point.
Yeah.
And so I hold on to stuff like I'm stumbling through YouTube for something, and my suggested videos is a video of Kanye rapping at 19 in a shoe store. And I'm like, yo, that's hard,
dope, right?
Look at young Kanye. I could tell he's gonna be fire right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I dropped them songs, I felt like they were fire. They might not be to the level of like production and I think, you know, storytelling or sonics or whatever, but somebody's gonna hear my song in 4 years, the newest song that I dropped that is in a movie or, you know, McDonald's cheeseburger sponsorship.
Hell yeah.
If I ever get that, A3 be like, bro, you've changed. Okay. I know they probably throwing the bag, but I don't want the Happy Meal sponsorship, okay?
Travis Scott did a meal. So.
I know, I'm just like, no disrespect, but can we get like some good food? You know what I'm saying? Let's not
Ruth
do
Chris sponsorship.
Yeah, let's get the steak and shrimp sponsorship. But no, like for real, they're gonna hear that song, they're gonna have a moment. It might be the first time they heard something, and then they can hear something from 2012 from me. And, you know, be like, whoa, this man came a long way. You know what I'm saying? It might draw them in.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, Henry,
I'm sure pretty strong opinion.
Yeah,
on
he's very much, you know,
people that delete their Instagram
delete stuff,
posts,
don't remove it, give people a glimpse into, you know,
it shows
where you came from, right?
It shows the journey.
Yeah.
It shows like you might not like it anymore, but you did at that point when you dropped it. I bet you liked it, or you wouldn't have dropped it.
Exactly.
So even if it's just for you, like not only are the super fans going to be able to go back and digest it and really fall in love and see how far you've come, but you can go back and listen and be like, wow, yeah, I thought that was the greatest song in 2012, and now I dropped this song in 2021. It's so much better. So I don't really see a downside in leaving up stuff like that. You know, I think it's possibly rooted in insecurities. People just feel like I'm better than that now, but if they had a little, you know, humility and just, you know, you're a person, right? That's cool. Like,
yeah, and people won't grade you. Well, I don't know what people gonna do, but I'd like to think people won't grade you on you being better than this one thing you did. They're gonna grade you on consistently getting better. It's like, right. You know,
imagine if a Juice WRLD tape that came out that he made when he was 13 came out tomorrow.
Right.
People would go crazy.
Cray.
So, you know, you talked about
before you did it, because I was having this moment, as a matter of fact, like Jack Harlow, you know, crazy year, about to have another crazy year. And whether you like him or not, people have been hitting him with that. Oh, you know, he didn't do what people were supposed to do. Like, he just kind of got on and now he's busting. He's buzzing. The man has videos from like when he was 11 and like full-fledged videos, you know, not like huge budget. This is an 11-year-old making a video. And it's like, yeah, he put in his 10 years. You can't take
the work.
Yeah, you can't say nothing about where he at right now.
No overnight success is actually an overnight success. I mean, that just doesn't happen. I mean, right. and I think that, you know, this goes to show, you know, what words would you think people would describe you with, right? Like if they were to describe Keenon Rush, like what kind of words would they use? What kind of adjectives would they use?
Wow.
Or which words would you hope they use?
Right, I'm about to say
that too.
What I hope? I would hope they would say genuine, especially if they basing it off my music. Exceptional, and I don't know why I feel like I need to give a third one, but that's just like, it's always feel right to me. Honest and genuine are kind of the same. I would say either rebellious or rebellious. I'm gonna go with that.
And it's interesting. I'm not sure if it's the, you know, humility that you have or what, but a lot of people have described you as hardworking. Mm-hmm. Your work ethic is through the roof. Your drive to actually make this music thing happen is second to none. So I guess it's probably the, you know, humble nature of you that didn't mention that. But I mean, I think that, you know, how hard do you think work ethic play, or I guess how much do you think work ethic plays into the equation of success?
It's honestly something I had noticed about you first, and one of the reasons we started working together.
Real talk, I appreciate that, and I agree. You know, I feel like I definitely like do that almost to a fault, but I think.
What do you mean to a fault?
You got to be intentional with your work ethic, and it's more to life. You know, I don't think we're supposed to be here all day and night just working hard as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
So hard to turn it off.
Let's give them that one.
Yeah, so it's like it's one thing to not have any work ethic, and then it's another thing to have only work ethic, and then it's another thing to have like peace. You know what I'm saying?
Intentional is a great word.
Yeah, that's what I definitely try to be intentional with. Like, okay, I'm working. Okay, I'm living. I'm loving. I'm doing what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? But still, like being a little bit unhinged to just experience it all. Mm-hmm. But still, you know, I read a lot about people who are successful in the terms that we're talking about it. And yeah, it's like success is not a destination in a sense, and it's about to get real corny, but like it's not a destination, it's a journey. And so with that being said, the work will never be done. So like, yeah, it's like if you really want to make something work, because I'm starting to get a pretty good like experience or purview of what that looks like on the other side. You know, not necessarily saying, I mean, yeah, for me as an artist, but artists that I know or work with. And it's not gonna, especially if you're like really about to pop or you're really about to sustain some success, it's not about to get easier. You know what I'm saying? The stakes get higher, the logistics get more concrete. It's like, oh yeah, you want some press. No, you got press every morning this week.
Right.
And you need to confirm these lyrics, and you need to get ready for the podcast, and you got a session. You know what I'm saying? You want to do music type ish. So that's when it comes into play where it's like, oh yeah, okay, I got it. I got everything I wanted, but I ain't seen my grandma in 2 weeks or something like that. Not that would be, that's just like something that I might say, you know? So it's like now you got to be intentional about working hard, sustaining that, and be intentional about touching other areas in your life.
Balance.
Yes, sir.
And so you mentioned working with other artists. What kind of work are you doing?
So I feel like I wear a creative director hat when I'm not just being a pure rapper, I would say. And so, you know, like you said earlier, I produce beats, but now I'm producing videos. I'm working in social media and creative content direction for a record label in Atlanta called Reach Records.
Shout out Reach.
Shout out Reach in the building. And and it's really afforded me the opportunity to rub elbows with people who are breaking careers, who are sustaining growth, and really just like storytelling, because that's what we're doing. You know, I think even the hardest trap song where people like, there's no story, there's no lyricism. Like, there's a story. It's just like maybe you're not connected with it on that level. You know, some people look at trap like it's trap music, or street like it's street music. And some people just like, that's music. But when you play some other shit, they like, oh, that's that type of music. You know what I'm saying? So really just being able to tell stories and stuff like that. And I'm enjoying it. It's definitely growing pains, but
so what's a tactical takeaway that you've gotten from your job at Reach, right? That you've maybe implemented with your own artistry, or that you're planning on implementing, right? Because I'm sure you're learning a shit ton.
For sure.
Right? I mean, you're working with some pretty, you know, either A-list or stars in the making, right? So
Right.
I'm hoping that you're absorbing as much as you can, right? So what would be some tactical things that you have seen that you want to implement like right away?
Right. It's really like a fire hydrant in that regard. If I can make a metaphor, just like as much
Rappers
information.
make the best metaphors.
Yeah. Nuggets. But yeah, like it's just an overflow of stuff. So I'm really just trying to like digest stuff, you know, not just feel it and be like, oh, that's dope, that's dope. I'm talking to this person. But I would say one thing I would say from a tactical point of view is consistency on the like logistical side. And it's very key, because you know, staying in the studio is important, and staying working on your craft is important, but the craft now becomes like releasing. It becomes storytelling, like I'm saying, and it becomes like garnering relationships where, as we know in the industry, it's a very gatekeeper, like who you know is one thing, but do y'all know each other? You know what I'm saying? So like, and you have to get better at doing that. And there's one thing to know about it or know that that's something to do. And then there's one thing to be like, yeah, this is my job. Every Tuesday, we're going to talk about this. Every Thursday, we're going to be trying to do this. Like, we're going to be doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is not just, oh, I love music and I'm doing this shit. You know, it's like, do you have this today? You don't have it today? Okay, cool. He doesn't have this today that we need to continue, you know, doing this cool shit that we doing.
Right.
And that type of energy, like, it can get lost when you don't have the funds or you don't have like any wins. You thinking like you're just looking for what's gonna work and keep doing that, but it's not gonna be one thing. So it's like once you start to find one thing, it's like, okay, let's make it modular. How can I continue doing this? Cool. I know I'm gonna continue doing this. This other thing that we're starting to feel, or this relationship has fostered something cool. I got to talk to you in 2 weeks or a week or some way, you know. It doesn't have to be a very transactional conversation, but we're going to talk, you know. So, yeah, I think it's just being a better business person in the music industry.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like the successful people, I mean, they have to treat their artistry like the business that it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't miss meetings.
Right.
The shit doesn't fly when you are, you know, an artist that has made it or is making it or what at some degree of success, right? I mean, that you'll burn every bridge that's out there, right? If you don't make that, you know, interview at 9 a.m., if you don't make it to the session with the producer that was booked, you know, weeks ago, if you don't make it to the podcast, whatever, right? I mean, it's a day-to-day operation. And if you treat it like the business that it is, I mean, that's something I would for sure hope that you're, you know, trying to replicate, right?
Yeah, and like y'all said, you know, someone told you and you felt it when you met me, the hard work, you know what I'm saying? Like, that just makes the talent, you just start to get energy behind it, right? You know what I'm saying? If I can't speak for y'all, because, yeah, you could believe in someone and the record sound dope, but if every time we trying to help you or have a meeting, you're not there, or nobody from your team is there, now it's just like,
the good music is literally the minimum.
I'm like, yeah, like, yo, bro, fuck your music, bro.
Yes, fuck you. Give that
One more
give
time.
that to him one more time.
Like,
One more time.
Can we link? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help. You know what I'm saying? And that as an artist, I have to feel that, and artists have to feel that, because, you know, I see a lot of artists, their main marketing is to passively aggressively
Demand that people listen to their songs.
Yeah, that people close to them too. It's like you're not talking to anybody but people that you know.
Yeah.
And you're passively saying, yo, y'all ain't fucking with me enough.
Yeah.
Post my shit.
Right, damn. That's a rollout for that ass.
So what can we look forward to? What's coming up? What releases are on the roadmap?
I'm excited, bro. It's a lot of stuff. I think the motto for this year has been give people who love my music, you know, not people who just support. Like, I appreciate it, no doubt. If you support me as an artist, and take support to mean whatever you think, but like, people who love my music, I want to give them more music. I want to give them more content and empower them to say, like, yo, I rock with this dude. You heard this, you heard this, you heard this, you heard this. And like, I'm getting to a point where I say, yo, hey Siri, play Keenon Rush music. And I'm like, damn, head high. I remember that joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I want to give people that. So we just dropped Long Live the King last fall. We just dropped Kingdom last month. Then H3 about to drop Women and Men. May the 4th be with you on May 4th, 2021.
May the 4th be with you.
But the truth is in between the lines. Gotta lose before you start to fly. And they say we cannot reach the sky, but women lie and men lie. Yeah, women lie and men lie. Oh.
I think it's gonna be a really powerful record. Like just like we was talking about from a tactical point of view, from an A&R point of view in terms of like what we did with the record, had conversations about it, and then just the fun and the creativity we had in creating like the way we want to release and present it. So, that's that.
It'll probably be after May 4th when this is out. So y'all go stream this
Women
shit.
and Men. Keenon
Speaking
Rush.
of passively aggressively,
Yeah, man. I just find it funny how motherfucker goddamn.
why ain't y'all supporting our new record?
Hey, but it cool though when I'm on. And that's another thing, like any amount of success that you get. Like I have friends or associates from my past who have like gotten on and done whatever it is they want to do in their own right. And I mean, it's changed things for them, but from people in your past, it doesn't change too much unless there's somebody of low character and they're literally just trying to leech. Like, okay, that's the obvious thing. Like, I'm on now and you're trying to leech. It's like,
Yeah.
well, that's who you are. But for the most part, everybody else is like, oh, that's dope. Okay. Yeah, I got to go pay some bills, so I'm going to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give a care. But, yeah, what were we talking about?
I think it's perfect timing that we've probably come to the final segment of our podcast.
Ooh.
So the working title for this last little segment that I am hosting is called the Rapid Fire Rampage.
Okay.
And we didn't prep you at all, just so everyone else knows this is
Chicken
gonna
livers.
That was the answer to number 1, actually. How'd you know that? Who told him? Jamil? God damn it.
That's real A&R work right there.
So basically, what I'm going to do is break it into 3 parts. The first part, I'm just going to ask you some questions, give me some short answers off the top of your head. The littler you think, the better.
Okay.
The second part's going to be
Littler.
Littler. That's a word.
I think it's a word.
Stuart Littler.
It is now. The second part's going to be a this or that. It's going to be one or the other. Ooh. And the last part's going to be just word association. I'm going to give you one word. Just give me one word back off the top of your head.
I love this. This is like impromptu. Like, I want to get into that more. Let's do something.
It's going to be fun.
Let's do it.
I'm looking forward. So starting with the short answer, give us one project, mixtape, EP, album, whatever, in your top 5 all time.
Damn. By Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, yeah, actually, damn. Yeah, nice. Okay.
Damn. What am I going to do?
Exactly. I was like,
that's a hard one.
I was like, let me qualify that.
No,
By Kendrick
you should have
Lamar.
said damn period.
Right. Damn. Period.
Period makes it.
In all caps.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Favorite cryptocurrency?
Right now, it's got to be Doja Cat, Doja Coin.
Dogecoin and
To
Elon
the
Musk.
motherfucking moon.
To the moon.
Elon Musk is on Saturday Night Live this Saturday. And if this man mentions Dogecoin on Saturday Night Live, I actually bought some today just in case.
I bought some today as well.
Elon, if you're watching
Henry
this,
convinced me.
Yeah.
please mention Dogecoin on Saturday Night Live. That'd be awesome.
I'm going to probably like, when it spikes,
I'ma
initially.
sell.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm going to sell a little bit just
Yeah.
to be like,
Just to pocket a little
good
bit.
old money.
Good old Dogecoin
Right.
making me
Yeah.
money.
And then, whatever happens after that, because you know how it is, volatile, whatever, but Dogecoin to the moon, man.
To the moon.
Sheesh.
Hey, where'd you make millions?
Right.
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
Give us one underrated food place in Atlanta.
Underrated. I'm going to say Bole Ethiopian restaurant on Virginia Ave. And the only reason why I say underrated, because I don't think people know about it.
I've
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
But if you like Ethiopian, go to Desta.
Oh, I bet.
It's off Briarcliff and Claremont.
Okay.
I'm
Shout
with
out
it.
Desta.
I want to, it's like, I've been eating a lot of it, to go because of quarantine. I want to sit down because it's always beautifully plated. Like,
Oh yeah.
The presentation.
no lie, you lose no flavor when you're just getting it out of your to-go box, but I just want to see it that way. You know what I mean?
Give us your favorite strip club.
Favorite strip club, Magic City. No, Blue Flame. I mean, Magic City is cool. It's like I'm not in there doing the big,
Yeah, like you kind of have to be.
Blue Flame, right? Sir,
Yeah.
there's
You've
a
only
$10,000
spent-
limit on that ass. Like, damn, it's happened to my 401k.
Yeah.
Give us a genre of music you secretly like.
Alternative music, so like the Bon Ivers of the world. You know what I'm saying? I sit and work to that. I sit and work or drive to it or clean or just vibe to it. But like songs where I don't necessarily need to know exactly what it's about or what he's even saying.
Nice.
And I know I only mentioned Bon Iver, but like
But there's others.
There's others. You know.
Give us your dream collab.
I've been thinking about this lately, and I think what I want to do, I'm going to say this one because I'm manifesting it to happen sooner than later. I want me with The Dream and Pharrell on a song.
Damn.
Ooh. That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? I'm touching flavors right there.
Would Pharrell be just producing, or would he have a verse?
I'm not going to tell him what he can or can't do on
Skateboard
that.
P?
Right. He's like, yeah. And then I'm going to come in, I'm like,
Okay.
I mean, I had a 16, but yeah.
If Pharrell wants a verse, you let Pharrell have a verse.
Come on in, bro.
All right. Give us one of the dumbest things you've ever done.
One of the dumbest things. Okay, yeah, one of the dumbest things, there was this trend going around when we were younger where you put ice on your skin. And I don't know if I was trying to debunk it or if I just wanted to do some shit, but you can still kind of see
You're
it right
scarred.
there. Right, the little salt ice burn.
No.
I did that to myself. I was sitting there like, oh, okay, this shit really is happening. And I just let it stay. And I was like, I had to go tell my mom, you know what I'm saying? Just like,
Yeah.
and she's like, so so you what you do? You know what I'm saying? She's like, someone burned you? I'm like, no, I did this to myself.
God, that's terrible.
Right. She's like, go to bed.
Oh my God. All right, let's flip it around. One of the best decisions you've ever made.
One of the best decisions I ever made was to go, I would say, was to decide to go study abroad my senior year in college. I think, talking
Where'd you
about
go?
culture shock, I went to Salamanca, Spain, and traveled a lot around Spain that semester. But it's culture shock, good food, great experiences. Like, I just...
Beautiful women?
Yeah, for sure. I think I got like a good taste of what it felt like to just be like in the vastness of the world. So I got to get back into it. Like, I've been out of the country, but I want to go. Like, I want to go to Germany next. Shout out my boys at Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. I'm going to be sleeping on y'all couch, or I mean, I can't get it. Do they got Airbnb?
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Airbnb is global as hell.
Right.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's first part of the Rampage. Huge success. Let's move on to the this or that.
And you could get with
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation. Even though, earlier me would say Xbox, but these days
Things change.
Yeah, next gen.
Fruits or vegetables?
Veggies.
Day or night?
Day.
Beer or liquor?
Liquor for sure.
My man. Cars or trucks?
Cars.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Pen and paper or phone note?
I would say probably pen and paper, but I actually don't write at all these days.
Shout out to the pen and the pad.
He said neither. He said it's up here.
Right. When it comes to music, but when it comes to getting things done, yeah, I like to bring out the old quill and today on our Lord, I will be cleaning out my car.
All right, singing or rapping?
Rapping.
And there it is. That was a successful this or that.
Hey, yo.
Very good. So last portion here of the rapid fire Rampage. It's going to be word association. Just one word. If it's 2 words or 3 words, that's okay. But keep these really short. I just want you not thinking. I just want to see what this word makes you feel. So let's start off with clothes,
Fashion.
money,
Evil.
pizza,
Good.
guns,
Butter.
vacation,
Needed it.
family,
Everything.
Corona.
Virus.
There's like a whisper theme going on. Yeah. Our last guest did the whisper on the one word.
Virus.
Guitar,
Hero.
children,
Future.
Elon.
Bag talk. I believe the children are our future.
Well, folks, that's it. We
What a
appreciate
rampage.
Keenon
Hey,
Rush
man.
coming out on the One More Time Music Podcast. I've been your host, Playback Ben.
Henry with a 3.
We'll see you guys next week. Tune in. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share this podcast with a friend. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And good night.
Party shit like one more time. That part that